Sorry for the lack of updates for a while. I'm still in Vegas and still at the Flamingo, but actually in the meantime went home for a few days. Going home would represent the end of the first trip, which poker-wise was ultimately disappointing, although it was a lot of fun. I made 5 day twos and got near the bubble, but that's no good when you then go 0 for 7 in terms of cashes, so it was a pretty pathetic effort, but I never kind of let that worry me too much. My principle is to always make sure that you can enjoy playing even if things go as badly as they possibly could, and definitely to make sure that you stay kind of safe within your bankroll even if things are as bad as possible. So it was disappointing, but I still had a really good time. Don't let that bother me too much. What I do kind of base my happiness on poker-wise is whether I make the right decisions, and it's kind of a weird time because I think I played okay throughout the trip, but on the biggest decision of all, that cooler with the 8-7 on the 8-8-4, I got it badly wrong, and I think I probably should have got away. So anyway, it was back for the main event, and obviously the Baron run would mean it would be all the sweeter to have a good run in the main event. I went back for day 2 today. Day 1 went really well actually. I did 30 into 85, which was really good. I played okay, and kind of not too much happened all day. I got a really nice spot where I flopped a set of 10s and got called pot, and that can only mean the guy had a big hand, I'd imagine. I called him with set against 2 pair or something like that. There was one interesting spot where early on I still had 30,000 and had a pretty kind of dry first couple of hours. Guy raised his early position to 25. Oldest guy on my right flat calls, I flat call 25, and with 5-8 to a flop of Jack 9-4, I've got Queen Jack of Spades. The table had been really tough, mainly kids, which is never a good thing. Played pretty well. This one guy on my right was a bit spewing, a bit over loose, and he was the one that ultimately would become my opponent in this hand. There's the bet at the pop 2500. So I've got Queen Jack on Jack 9-4 with 2 hearts. I called there because I felt I pretty much had the best hand at this point. And actually on this hand became a bit of a calling station, although I never intended to call him down at the start. There was just kind of a different reason on each street. Turner River actually came running deuce-deuce, which with me not improving is about as good as it can get, basically. And on the turn he fired 5,000, and that was the one point where it just looked bluffy. He had 5,000 pretty, and looked a bit too strong really. And then on the end with like 14,000 in the pot, no, it must be 16,000 in the pot, I was thinking please don't fly 7 or 8 because that's ace jack, and then he fired 11,000. Which is great. I hated to call because the call would leave me with like 8,000 left at the start of the tournament. Would be pretty grim, but his line just did not make any sense. And although I kind of did want to, I had to call it. And the hand was good, so that was a really sweet start, up to 60k pretty early on. So yeah, the rest of the day was kind of much apart from the Saturday. I came back with 85, and today's been a really interesting day. The tough tables once again. And here's the first interesting pot, which is the most instructive. I'd actually got my way up to 105, twice had a pair with a flush draw and managed to win it with a check raise. So things were going okay. Then here's the interesting pot. Blinds must be 3 and 6. Swedish kid under the gun opens it to 1700. Nick Schulman, who's a damn good player, flat calls 1700. I got 7-6 on the button, so I'm playing 2 and the big blind plays as well. 7-6 of spades with the flop comes 6-5-3 check round to me. 7,000 in the pot, and so probably good here, so I bet 5,000. Pass, and Nick Schulman calls. And here's the point where I should have a really good think. And this isn't possible against an average player where they could call with a flush draw, they could decide to slow play a set or a bunch of things like that. Because he's a good player, he's going to have the right balance between aggression and pot control, and I think I can really get a good read on his hand here, and this is where I went wrong. So here's my reasoning, which I wish I'd got at the time. Set 6-5-3 with 2 diamonds. He's not going to play a flush draw for a check call. That's just too weak. And if you think about it, a flush draw is either high, in which case he can bet it, or if it's low, it's got something with it. It kind of must have a pair or a straight draw with it. So he's going to play flush draw more aggressively. He's too good to try and slow play a set or a straight, a hand like that. That's a bad idea on that board. So actually, at this point, I reckon I should get this range down to exactly 4s or 5-4. It's a pretty rare spot, and it's only because of the player, but I think I really should there. Those hands just fit perfectly with the check call. Turns a king of diamonds, which is interesting because it looks like a scare card, but based on that reason I should really realise that it's not. So the board's king 6-5-3, and I really should realise that 7-6 is good here, but I have to protect it from the straight draw. He checks, and I kind of make the standard check behind, reasoning being that I'm either well beaten, there's no need to bet, or I'm ahead. And checking only has the sin of letting him draw to 8 outs. Rivers a deuce of diamonds for the 4th diamond on the board, and we've got king 6-5-3-2. I can't be winning here, I might as well have nothing. At the same time, I don't think he can bluff, because I'm now pretty sure that I'm actually sure that he's got 5-4. He turns out to have pocket 4 sort of straight, but the same hand. and I think he's going to find a great call with that hand, whatever, however much I bet, because I just have no representation for a diamond. So he checks, I check, and his pocket fours take it down, and it felt like a massive missed opportunity, really. I think what I need to do is just allow myself like a bit more time if I need to try and read his hand, because I think there's a great spot there on the turn. Like, it's pretty rare you can get someone down to exactly one hand or one type of hand anyway. So that was disappointing. Things went okay for the rest of the day, and I kind of was living off rags a little bit and pulled a few squeezes. Then got moved to a new table on the 7th level of the series, and unfortunately there would follow the grimmest 5 minutes that I've ever had in poker. I raise ace queen mid position using Todd flats next to me. I think he's got a pretty sensible raise. Flop queen 7 2 diamonds, so I flop top pair top kicker. I lead 3,500. He makes it 11,000 more, which leaves him 34 behind. And so I have to stop and think now. Really, I think it's a rare spot that I'm going to call the flop and pass the turn, unless it's something like a diamond or possibly a king. I kind of fear a set of sevens, but I think actually that's the only hand that's beating me. Like, to go through the hands, I don't think he's playing aces or kings. I don't think he's playing deuces. He might well have sevens in his range, but it's either that, ace king, king queen, or queen jack, something like that. Or maybe he's got pocket jacks and wants to try and win it there. So I flat, river's a blank. It's a black 9. I check and he goes all in, and I don't think I can pass here. You see what's coming accordingly. He's got a set of sevens, and I don't know, it's tough when I've only got one pair and get it in, but I played my hand weakly. In fact, it looks like I might have a flush draw, and I just think so much of the time he's turning over either the same hand as me or king queen the diamond, something like that. So that was a horrible hit. That's 48k I gave him there, and I was down to like 52 or something. And then we just keep on and keep on going. Next part, under the gun raises, turns out with ace king, I've got ace queen of diamonds flat. Flop is ace high with 2 diamonds, and somehow he only makes one bet at the pot, and I miss the queen, and the diamond out's 45k. Next hand, I raise pocket 9s. Same guy calls out the big blind, flop 10 7 5 2 spades. He check raises all in, and think be a decision against anyone else, but against the guy who doesn't want to bet ace king there, then kind of had to let that go. So things were pretty good. It's now down to 40k. A couple of hands later on the button, looked down at ace king, and I shouldn't get emotional like this, but that just said to me, exit hand. Under the gun opens to 22, and I've got 40. Actually, this is I can probably flat call here, but then 2 other people flat call, and there's no way they've got big hands, and I kind of would just be giving away equity if I didn't raise it there. So I make it 15. Under the gun goes all in for 50. Of course, I have to call, and he turns over 2 queens. I was like, oh, here we go. Of course, it comes blank, blank, blank. But there ended the worst 5 minutes in poker. Blank, blank, blank on the flop, blank on the turn, and a king on the river, and I couldn't believe it. Like, it was